whistleblowers who claim that Attorney General Merrick Garland interfered in the Hunter Biden probe. Basically, that he blocked the IRS from charging Hunter with 2 more felonies that likely would have carried jail time.
And joining us now to discuss is former Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Sir, thanks for joining us. So according to the New York Post, the federal prosecutor investigating Hunter Biden told at least 6 witnesses last year that he lacked authority to charge the first son outside of Delaware. So do you expect this whistleblower to testify before the Oversight Committee?
Yeah, so we have now too much evidence that Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice interfered with this investigation, didn't allow them to pursue charges that were appropriate and should have been brought. And so there needs to be a full investigation into who blocked this investigation, who prevented the U.S. Attorney, Mr. Weiss from Delaware, from bringing charges that he felt were warranted under both DOJ policy and federal criminal law. So that needs to be found out, and we need to know what Merrick Garland knew and when he knew it. Was he lying to the American people, or is he just so clueless about what's going on at DOJ that he, kind of is essentially a figurehead?
Somebody's lying. It's either Merrick Garland or the whistleblower. It's that simple. CNN, Matt, is out this morning with a soundbite that they claim is Donald Trump incriminating himself in his documents case. Take a listen.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to figure out a
See, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't, but this is classified.
Now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so. Look, here I have. And you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
it's incredible, right?
No,
hey, bring some Cokes in, please.
Matt, just want to get your reaction to that. The former president saying, you see, this is a quote, as president, I could have declassified that, now I can't. How does that play in the courtroom when this trial does actually begin? We heard over the weekend that the DOJ wants the trial to start in December, which would literally be weeks before the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary.
Yeah, well, first, let me say it's another disgusting leak from Jack Smith and the special counsel trying to try this case in the public opinion. I think that is just inappropriate and inconsistent with the principles of federal prosecution. But that being said, there's going to be a trial. We don't know exactly when. It could be sometime during the primary. In that trial, there will be a lot of evidence. And, kind of the question is not whether or not a document is declassified. The question is, was this national defense information under the Espionage Act? Did President Trump know that? Did he believe somebody had asked him to give it back? There's a series of essentially mens rea, or the state of mind of President Trump in this whole case. And I still don't see, I think the bar is very high to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. And I think that President Trump, has a lot of defenses. I don't know. I don't quite understand why this is leaked now. But, again, it's CNN, so we know it's coming.
Can you comment on that and all the leaking? Because this kind of stuff's supposed to be under seal, both the grand jury testimony and now as discovery takes place. Why does this stuff continue to be leaked to CNN? And doesn't that help to exonerate Donald Trump?
Yeah, they're trying to spoil the jury pool.
Court of public opinion.
There is another special counsel going on right now. Rob Hur is investigating President Biden and his illegal possession of classified documents. But we haven't heard hide nor hair out of that investigation, as is appropriate. But in this case against Donald Trump, they continue to leak and they continue to try to spoil the jury pool and try to win this case in the court of public opinion. And ultimately, what they're trying to do, Rob, is they're trying to influence the election in the primary, and that is disgusting.
Yeah, you always think of the timing, too, based on what, all the allegations with Hunter Biden, too, and this whistleblower, because that was in the media. So always trying to deflect. I want to move on now. Do you expect House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to move forward with impeaching Merrick Garland?
Well, I mean, I know that he is looking seriously at doing an impeachment inquiry, which is the first step. Obviously, they need to build the case. And to what we were talking about earlier, they got to figure out who is lying. Is Merrick Garland lying? Is there an assistant attorney general that was putting their thumb on the scale? What do these U.S. attorneys say? Obviously, the first step, and we've talked about it before, is bringing U.S. Attorney Weiss in front of Congress and finding out who told him what, who prevented him from bringing these charges against Hunter Biden, and to name names.
Yeah, absolutely. Also from Newsmax, Matt, Speaker McCarthy supports expunging Trump's impeachments. Do you think something like this could actually happen?
Yeah, so I don't know. These are all rules-based, and the House makes their own rules, and we've seen it only takes a majority of the House to impeach a president, but 3/4 of the Senate to convict. And so, what I believe is if Speaker McCarthy has those tools to reverse those impeachments, he can do that. Obviously, President Trump, those charges were so weak, and Nancy Pelosi was so ideologically left that all she wanted to do was get Trump. But, at the end of the day, at some point in time, we just got to move forward and beat Democrats in 2024.
Just quickly, 15 seconds. Nancy Pelosi, you brought her up. She's been in Congress now for 36 years. You were Attorney General. 36 years is a lifetime politically. She wants term limits for members of the Supreme Court, but she's been in Congress for the better part of her life. What do you make of that hypocrisy?
Well, that's all it is. It's hypocrisy. Obviously, founding fathers never believed that these professional politicians were the solution to a representative republic. And so, I think term limits across all boards would be smart, but they wanted the independence of the Supreme Court to be not influenced by politics. And so, that's a broader conversation we'll have to have another day.
Absolutely. Yeah, we threw a lot at you there, but we know you can handle it. We appreciate the insight as always. Former Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. We'll have you back soon. Thank you. Lots more coming.